Objectivity. Objectivity does not mean neutrality. You can have an intense interest in a subject, and that's what makes it interesting to you, and that will make you a more interesting writer or speaker or whatever. The reason some academics are boring is because they themselves are bored with the subject they're studying. Why would they think their students would get excited about it when they can't, you know? You don't achieve neutrality by neutralizing your subject matter. Although people do that, they avoid highly controversial subjects because the minute you get into a highly controversial subject, it splashes on you, and you are seen as whatever. I won't even go into some of the ones I've been in. See, I'm withholding information and decontextualizing. Ha 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 ha. I remember in psychoanalysis, I used to read a lot of psychoanalytic literature years ago when I was teaching Freud and social science course and all. And I remember reading one case study by an analyst, and he said he wanted to say that his patient had sexual desires for somebody else. And so he said, quote, "The client cathected his affects onto libidinous objects." I don't know why that sentence doesn't do anything for me. Why is that? It just doesn't get me really interested at all. Well, what you're doing here, what's clear here is the scientistic affect, you see. You make it sound very scientific and you're detached and all that. But what you're missing is the humanity and the reality of it. In political science, the same thing. You frequently pick a safe subject, neutralized, don't get caught in the partisan passions of political struggle. You dilute the subject. But you see, politics, and Karl Marx had that memorable phrase, he said, politics is involved in the furies of private interest. Furies, he wrote with a capital F, meaning the Greek furies. I mean, politics is about people killing other people to protect their stash. Politics is about madness and fury to get what you want, or to maximize your interests, or defend those interests, or risking your life in certain ways. You'd never know it, though. You'd never know it in political science. You know, you take a safe subject, you emerge unscathed on your road to tenure. Let me read. I do have an essay in here called Repression in Academia. Read one paragraph. Radical academics have been rejected because, that is for tenure and employment, because their political commitments supposedly disallow them from objective scholarship. In fact, much of the best scholarship comes from politically committed scholars. Now that's heresy to say that in academia, but that's what I believe. Much of the best scholarship comes from politically committed scholars. One goal of any teacher should be to introduce students to bodies of information and analysis that have been systematically ignored or suppressed. A task that usually is better performed by iconoclasts than by those who accept existing institutional and class arrangements as the finished order of things. So it has been feminists and African American researchers who, in their partisan urgency, have revealed the previously unexamined sexist and racist presumptions and gaps in conventional scholarship. There's a very good example. Because I remember in academia, somebody, feminist studies, what is that? That's not a discipline. Black studies, what are you talking about? I mean, the people, all these white males who taught history and never once even thought that there was an area of study here. And who did think of it? It was the people who were passionately concerned. They were able to see through that fog of mutual decontextualization, which passes itself off as objectivity. Did I say that in the revealed the sexist and racist presumptions and gaps of conventional scholarship? Did I say that phrase? Yeah. Likewise, it is leftist intellectuals, including some who are female or non-white, who have produced the challenging scholarship about popular struggle, political economy, and class power, subjects remaining largely untouched by centrists and conservatives. In sum, a dissenting ideology can awaken us to things regularly overlooked by conventional scholarship. So, don't sweat too hard about trying to look neutral. Don't try to achieve neutrality by neutralizing or diluting your subject matter. Don't cathect your affects.